This is the new TaylorMade Hi-Toe 4 wedge, and it's designed for players who are looking to get a lot more versatility in their short game, who want a lot more creativity, the ability to hit a wider variety of short game shots from a lot of different situations on the golf course. And let me explain to you how TaylorMade went about doing that. Now, for golfers who may not be aware, the advantage of a high-toe wedge is that when you open up the face, especially in bunkers and in really tight situations around the green, the extra mass that's designed up here into the toe section provides you with a greater amount of hitting area. See, ordinarily when you have a teardrop shaped wedge, a traditional shaped wedge, when you open the face to try and expose more loft and add a little bit more bounce, you're going to be creating a smaller hitting area. But with a high-toe wedge, with that extra mass up here at the top, you maintain a large hitting area. So as you sweep across the ball, you're going to be able to get more grooves onto the ball for more spin and more control. And it's also going to be a very confidence-inspiring look in the address position. When you see that extra mass up at the top, you have a lot more confidence that you're going to be able to make good contact, and you're not going to have the ball slide off the face without really getting caught by the grooves to create spin. Now, like the previously released versions of the high-toe wedge, this club is going to be cast from 8620 carbon steel, so it's going to have a really soft feel. Now, after the casting process is completed, a computer-controlled bit goes back and forth over the golf club, milling out tiny little pieces of material. Now, while it's expensive, the real benefit from a manufacturing standpoint to milling is that it can exactly replicate the design that engineers intended when they drew up the Hi-Toe 4 wedge. Now, in addition to making the higher toe design, TaylorMade adds a little bit of extra mass up here at the top of the toe itself to elevate the center of gravity location. Now, to offset the added weight that's going up there and to create the place where they can put that mass without tinkering around too much with the swing weight, you'll notice that TaylorMade has hogged out a piece of the back flange here behind the club. So removing mass from low in the heel and adding it high in the toe is going to help to elevate the center of gravity location, which in a lot of wedges is going to be beneficial because it helps to create a lower, more piercing and controlled ball flight. And all that is going to add to more control when you're hitting these wedges with your full swing. Now, while the Hi-Toe 4 wedges maintain sort of the copper finish that has become really a trademark of these wedges from TaylorMade, once again, TaylorMade has made the hitting area raw steel. Now, with raw steel wedges, the big advantage is that it's going to create a very natural rusty look that is going to be anti-glare. And a lot of players really love the idea of a raw face in the hitting area. Now, because these wedges have a raw steel face, then they will rust and corrode as soon as they're exposed to air and to water. So to make sure that that doesn't happen in transit, TaylorMade has put this sticker on here that basically is just going to seal off everything until you peel it off. Once you have removed the sticker from the raw steel face, and once the wedge gets exposed to water and air, it will start to rust, and that will happen naturally. You can keep the wedge clean, and that will sort of slow the process down, but this is raw steel. It's not been chromed, so it is going to rust. Now, is a rusty wedge going to help you create more green side spin? That is very, very debatable. A lot of players feel it's good. A lot of research says that it really doesn't do very much at all. But what it does do is create a very cool anti-glare look that many players like. To create more consistency with the spin and to help get more water off of the face of the wedge, which can really be detrimental to spin and control, TaylorMade has added spin tread to the areas between the grooves in the Hi-Toe 4 wedges. Now, spin tread is a very, very light etching that goes in between each one of these grooves. And the whole idea is that in dry conditions, it really doesn't do a heck of a lot. But in wet conditions, it provides more places where water and moisture can be pulled off of the hitting surface so that the grooves of the wedge can dig into the cover of the golf ball and create more spin. It's creating more consistency between your dry conditions and your wet conditions. The other big story when it comes to Hi-Toe 4 is that it is now going to be offered in 5 different sole grinds and sole configurations, which means that players should be able to find a sole grind that matches up with their style of play as well as the conditions where they're going to be playing. In addition to covering up the hitting area with a sticker, TaylorMade did something really clever by adding another sticker on the bottom of each wedge, describing essentially what this wedge is designed to do and the types of playing conditions and the type of swing that it's going to be most beneficial for. This is going to be really helpful because a lot of people are going to be buying their wedges by themselves, sort of a la carte. They go in, they need a new lob wedge, they need a new sand wedge, and they just go in and they buy something. But when you get a description, for example, like the ATC grind, shallow divots, firm conditions, so you know that basically this is going to be the right type of wedge if you're playing in some place, for example, where you are going to have very little sand in the bunkers, where the bunkers are either don't have much sand, or the turf is really firm, it's hard. But if you go towards the other side, steep divots and medium to soft conditions, obviously this is the ATW. So right away, even if you don't fully understand the differences between these grinds and what they mean, TaylorMade is trying to help consumers make slightly better choices. Again, medium divots, sand excellence for the ATX. The ATV is going to be medium shallow divots, all conditions, medium divots, all conditions with the ATS. So really, really helpful for consumers just to make sure that you're getting the right wedge in your bag if you're not getting the help of a custom fitter. So if you're in the market for some new wedges and you want to not only maximize spin, but also increase your versatility and your creativity around the greens, you might want to talk to a good custom fitter about TaylorMade's Hi-Toe 4 family of wedges.